Okay. Hello, everybody. We're back. We're here. We're live. We're doing a thing. We're going straight into the danger zone with you tonight. It's a little common fury. It's me, YourFace. It's Trindominus Angel over here. We hope you're having a good weekend, a good week. Yeah, let's talk about some stuff. Angel, how are you?
Hello, YourFace. No, that's it. That's all I was going to say. I was just saying hello. That's it. What more do people expect?
It's over. All right. See you guys next week. The stream's over. Lunatic, how's it going? My audio is very off. What? We just started. Oh, did I really mess something up that bad? Anyway, are you sure? You know, I gotta look at this. Anybody else saying my audio's off?
Yeah, it is. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We'll just deal with it later. Hashtag technical difficulties.
It's not possible. Hold on.
All good. We'll just deal with it later.
Hashtag technical difficulties. It's not possible.
I don't know if you can fix it right now because you have to adjust your audio delay.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Whatever. Just stare at his eyes, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat as you're watching the stream. Just look at his eyes.
It's not bad on my side. You guys are crazy. Refresh your streams. I just looked at it. It's good.
I'm going to go ahead and refresh.
Let me see. Anyway. It looks good on my side. That's all that matters. It's about me, obviously. No. No, if I'm seeing it okay on the mixer side. As long as I have a good download that's not out of sync, I'll use that. But
okay.
It didn't look bad. Ignoring all that, yeah, we played some games. We did some stuff this week. Angel, how was Spider-Man?
Well, it was actually really damn good. So, for those who don't know, I am only streaming Spider-Man all week. Well, I shouldn't even say that because on Tuesdays I do the Destiny reset stuff, but Spider-Man is a lot of fun. It is probably the best movie Spider-Man that I've ever seen. I know it's a video game, but it's still legit. The story is really good. The music is good. The character models, voice acting, all top notch. I'm so happy I'm playing the game, man. So there's that.
Except for all the side collectible stuff.
So if you're a crazy guy like we are and you chase after platinum trophies every now and then in games that you really like, then yeah, the Spider-Man is going to be kind of annoying. It's a grind, you know. End up like, I think it's like for the true crime stuff, I did the numbers. What was it, like 55 times? You're basically playing the same mission 55 times. It's, some of the gameplay loops are pretty boring, but if you take that out, you know, you only have to deal that if you're going after the platinum. But if you're just enjoying the game itself, the story beats are legit. The side stuff is kind of annoying.
Yeah, we'll talk about more into how crazy we are later when we talk about Valorant today. I have a great story, as in it's not a great story. I'm still very annoyed by it, but yeah, I started Spider-Man as well. You're about, I would say, a day and a half ahead of me. You're at like, what, 70% of the story completed, right, at this point?
I saw this morning, I think it said 75%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about 50%, which is where you started yesterday, I think. So, I'm about a day and a half behind you. I haven't gotten a chance to play it too much on stream because I've been doing all the grinding stuff off stream when I can while I'm at work and stuff. But yeah, it's been fun. I liked it. I love the dialogue, the scripts for that, the J. Jonah Jameson stuff.
Yo, he is legit. Love it.
And then the quip Spider-Man has just swinging around. It's basically like I'll comment while I'm playing the game, especially on stream, and like it's almost exactly what he's saying. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny. Just like the comments I have on like what the situation is going on.
Oh,
here comes Greaves.
The queen of the nerds. What is up, Greaves?
So far, yeah, like I said, I've been kind of getting frustrated with the pickups, the collectibles, the missions. I haven't got to all of them yet, but the crime stuff, having to do that, like it just takes me out of the game because I'll be doing something, like I'll be doing something completely different, getting to a location, and all of a sudden you hear on the radio, all units go to this location for a break-in. I'm like, God damn it, I got to go all the way over here. Go to the red marker just to help out really quick, beat some guys up.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't change much. Like it really doesn't. So that those combat missions are exactly the same, even when you go from regular enemy types to demon enemy types.
They just have
all
better
constructed
weapons.
exactly the same. Yeah, and the combat is okay. The combat is okay.
Hold up. Greaves, you can stay. I enjoy your company. I can't figure out my life without you, obviously. But yeah, combat stays the same. Just like slightly different weaponry with them. They have like shock stuff now. Is there any more crime stuff, or what are the two things at the bottom? It's just the demons and the regular thugs in terms of crime stuff?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
That's all it is for crimes. And then nothing else. There haven't been any other crime stuff that unlocked yet. But there's, I don't know, like 2 things left that are supposed to unlock. So I don't know what the hell that's going to be.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
We're
talking about
that there'll be some more.
Some Spider-Man. I guess I could throw some. Well, actually, we're about to finish up on our Spider-Man. We'll talk more about it when we complete it. But yeah, so you haven't unlocked those bottom 2 like collectible stuff, because I thought those would. I assumed those would be more enemy types you have to go find and crime things you have to bust up. But I guess
that's
not.
what I thought too. But it doesn't seem that way. So which bleeds into. I think it's kind of interesting because the city looks busy. The city seems to be bustling, but there's not a lot to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
What I've noticed.
Well, I wanted to dip back into Bloodstain since I did finally finish.
Such a
finish
good
100%,
game.
100%, because I didn't skip out on the weapon abilities and stuff. I actually, I did all the techniques.
Good.
I found out there was another secret. There's 2 secret ones that I couldn't, I had no idea about it unless I looked it up online. One of them was like with a spear, a specific spear that I had already broken down into another weapon. So I had to go make that. And then like it's a charge ability. And I had just, like on stream, I had just been complaining, like, man, I went through this whole game. I can jump really high, but I can't like move laterally really fast. And I wish that was something in the game that I could do. And of course, as soon as I like found out about this technique, that was the key to all of that. It's just like you literally hold down the button, you charge straight across throughout the level like a battering ram. I'm like, are you serious? I could have used this for a whole game, but it's. But
it was with a spear, right? A specific weapon. No. Okay.
Yeah, and then once you did a technique, like mastered it, you can use it with any spear. But still, drove me crazy. I liked all the JoJo references. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorite animes of all time. I beat OD, whose name backwards is Dio, which is a character, a vampire from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And if you haven't played the game and you haven't seen the anime, I'm not going to say what his ability is, but it's literally exactly his ability in the anime, and like the same effect on screen and everything. And I even have like a button on my mixer side that if I press it, I mean it's not. He ain't ready for JoJo. Yeah, no, he ain't ready for JoJo. That's your recommended viewing one day.
Yeah.
But like I had a button on my mixer side. I press it, it comes up with like the character Dio from JoJo. He does the move on screen, and then like it affects my whole stream and does that same like a negative like color effect thing. And like as soon as like I saw him, like I gotta press my button, bam, at the same time. It was a lot of fun seeing that. There's the stone mask. There's a bunch of stuff a lot of references in the game, even outside of JoJo. Like we got Shovel Knight. We'd never delved into that stuff, but I really like the callbacks, the fun little Easter eggs. It was fun coming across those. I still wish there was more to do with some of those stuff. Like, I wish he could cure the demon barber of his curse, stuff like that. But I digress. Yeah. Unless you have anything else you want to add on to Bloodstained. Hopefully this is the last time we talk about it.
No. I think you covered, because there's a lot of references that I didn't catch, because I've never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, so I didn't catch that. But yeah, I think Bloodstained was something made for fans, seemingly by a fan.
Oh yeah,
it's a great game
for sure. I read there was like another a DLC boss battle against the director. Like, he's the character in the game, and you fight him. Which was
I didn't even look to see if there was DLC.
Yeah, I didn't.
Game. I should have done that.
I didn't really look too into it, but. And there's posing. You can like put the stone mask on, and then the pose is like a literal JoJo pose. Did you know you could pose in the game?
No, I didn't
know
that either.
You literally like hold up, I think, and then you just go into a like just like a pose.
No, I didn't do that. The only that I did was I would just sit on different chairs. I sat on every chair in the game. I thought that was going to be.
Me too. I thought that was going to be a secret achievement, and it wasn't. But there was the piano achievement.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. I enjoyed that, because I didn't play with the fairy. I played with the knight. So the first time I sat at the piano, it didn't do anything other than just play the music.
Yeah, I think I had just switched to the knight when I got to the piano, and I sat down in it. But of course, I didn't have the fairy on, so I had no idea. I did eventually figure it out though, and we didn't got that.
What's going on, Bonebreaker Jr.? Welcome to the stream.
Let's see. All right, well, let's hop into my hot button issue of the week. Since apparently I've gotten the Fury side. I got the Fury fever.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, and this is a PC only game, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
PC only.
Valorant is PC only. Do
you have to have like a monster rig in order to be able to play it? Is it?
No, that's the good thing about Valorant is it's a game designed to be played on any system, like as many systems as possible, because they want as many people playing the game as possible. But they obviously didn't want me playing the game, because after days, like over a week of waiting, watching streams, trying to get into this beta, just to try the game out. I just want to play the game. I want to just try your game out. Why you gotta make it so hard? Where I gotta watch some scrubs on Twitch, like do their 24-hour streams, not even actually stream, which is ridiculous. People just like leave their stream on for 24 hours and then get in all the views, get in all the donations, because people are dumb and they think giving donations will help their chances of getting a code. No, I had to suffer and wait for 9 straight days, and then I finally get it. Download the game, hop in, hit up my friends like, yo, let's play, since I finally got in. Lucci says, your face is the fury and angel is the calm. Crazy.
But it happens sometimes.
But yeah, so hit up my friends and like, all right, finally I can play with you guys. Jump in. And now I had like noticed, like I was trying to get like looked in my my account, my LOL account. I transferred it over to a Riot account to be able to play. I was looking through the settings, and it's like I noticed something weird. It was like it set my region to the Russian Federation. I'm like, okay, never been to Russia, never had anything to do with Russia, but it'll be okay. I'll get the code, I'll get to play. Get the code, download it, hop in, and immediately I can't play because it's on the server's down for maintenance. So I hit up my friends, I'm like, how are you guys playing right now? I'm on server maintenance. And they're like, nah, we're playing right now. What are you crazy? So I look it up. And I'm like, okay, what's going on with my thing? It says I don't have the right version. It's server maintenance, updating. And it says the European servers are updating. I'm like, wait a minute, European servers, what does that mean? So a couple hours later, come out of maintenance. I hop in the game. I get into like the training mode, and my ping, like my latency, is like 120 plus in the training, which is like a locally hosted thing. Not hosted, but like it's a 1-to-1 to the servers. Just you, 120. I'm like, what is going on? Because it should be like a normal ping is between like 0 to 60. That's like acceptable. And it was 120. And so I was like perplexed. I'm like, okay. What game are we talking about? Oh yeah, Valorant. Sorry, I was trying to put it on the screen, but something's going on with the graphics, so I haven't thrown it up yet. Yeah, so that's the issue.
So you can't change. So once it's set to a region, you're stuck there.
Exactly. Yes. So when got out of the training, I tried to join up with my friends. It's like different versions, and then once they updated, it was like can't like it wouldn't let us communicate at all. So I looked it up, and it's like, and then like it even showed like asked me to pay in whatever the Russian currency is for like adding on like in-game currency. I had to pay in Russian currency. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I looked it up. There's a couple people that are like, yo, I got this EU server code and I can't play with my friends. What's going on? How do I change? And people are like, you just got to submit a ticket to Riot. I'm like, okay. So I submit a ticket. I look up some other people who had submitted tickets, and they're like 9-10 days plus, like, yo, this trash company hasn't helped me out. And I'm like, how do you have a game, or how do you have this like beta access thing set up, and then you screw over like a small portion of people who just want to try your game out. So that's the only way to like change your region, is to hit them up and hope they hit you back up with a reply, because yeah, they suck. I hate Riot Games. I will never give them my money ever. But I did eventually get into the game. I had to make a whole new account. I had to wait 2 more days to get a beta code for this new account. Finally hopped in, played yesterday. It's not, I mean, it's an okay game. I'm not a Counter-Strike person. I don't enjoy the Counter-Strike style of games. Let me put up some footage.
Is it one death and you're out type thing? Once you die, you're done?
Oof. Yes. It's like a round-based thing. So you have up to 25 rounds, and of course the first game I play is a 25-round game. So all the stress, I suck, I'm brand new and trash, and it's like all the pressure's on me trying to get into, like, learn how to play this game first round. And this game, this video I have here is 40 minutes. This is one whole game, and it goes to like 20 rounds. So just imagine being stressed out for 40 whole minutes. And but yeah, it's round-based games. First to 13 rounds wins. You get 1 life per round. There are and each character, this is the difference from Counter-Strike in this game, is the characters have different abilities that allow them to just kind of interact with each other a little bit more differently. Add some different wrinkles. Let me mute this because it sounds like there's voices over the top.
So are you telling me that basically Valorant is if
Overwatch,
Counter-Strike, and Overwatch had a baby? Exactly.
But yeah, some of the characters have one character can respawn people and another character can respawn themselves. So that gives you the ability to come back. But you can only pick one of each character per team. So yeah, it doesn't. There's not always like a heavy side of one person, everybody's the same character. You're forced to use strategy, use a bunch of different characters together in synchronous to work together. And it's okay. I mean, I've had some fun. It's mostly because I'm playing with people I'm more familiar with. Like, I'm hearing online, if you solo queue like I did that first game, it's just completely toxic. Where people are yelling at first timers, their first game ever of any sort of Counter-Strike style game. And they're getting berated because they're so bad, but they've never played before. So, getting a bunch of people trying out this game for the first time, and they're already getting a bad experience, which is kind of lame, but it happens.
That sounds like Xbox 360, Xbox Live.
Yes.
These kids are soft.
I mean, you got to be a little softer now, right? You got to give people
kids
a chance.
Are soft.
But yeah, there's a little softness involved. But yeah, if you have friends, even if you're losing, it's fun. I don't think I'll be playing it too much. There's this whole uproar and outcry about this software that they force you to install, which is an anti-cheat software. And it goes down to kernel level of your operating system. So yeah, just to prevent you from cheating, but then people are cheating already. So what's the point of that level of security, not security, but privilege to allow this game just to prevent you from cheating when the majority of people aren't going to cheat. I don't know. But I know, all I know is that it screws up my computer when I try to shut it down, and it takes like 20 minutes to shut down. So I don't think, after maybe a couple weeks, I'll probably uninstall it just to get that crap off my computer. But yeah, there was an interesting tournament that went down this weekend, or this week. It was like Monday through Wednesday. ESPN put it on. It was the ESPN Esports Valorant Invitational Teams event. And the interesting thing is, as you see here, we got groups A and B. We had different teams, but they were different teams, like pro players from different games. So Team Heroes was Overwatch, Team Mirage was Counter-Strike, Team Rift was League of Legends, Team Six is Rainbow Six, Team Llama was Fortnite, Team Dev was the developers, Team Canyon was Apex Legends, and Team Battlegrounds was PUBG. So they put these 8 different teams with 8 different pro teams, like specialties, in a tournament together to finally like decide who is the better game team or game players. Overall, like it basically like made a gang war in the chat of like everybody hating on Fortnite and Fortnite people coming in and trying to
and trying to win at this game.
Yes, but it was definitely an interesting turnout. Team Canyon ended up winning, so as of now,
what were they known for?
Apex Legends.
Okay.
So it was interesting to see Apex Legends come out on top, but it ended up being in the finals the Counter-Strike team and the Apex Legends team. Team Llama almost made it into the semifinals. It was like the first round was a round robin. You played every team in your group, and the top 2 advanced to the semifinals. The only problem is Team Llama like ended up playing Team Dev, and they had Team Dev and Team Canyon in the same group, so that was a bad break for them. But they almost sneaked in. Team Battlegrounds disappointed as usual, just like the game, just like PUBG.
Trash anyway.
And then on the other side, Team Rift, which is the League of Legends team, which like people were like, oh, don't sleep on them. They play video games too. They got completely stomped.
No. League of Legends is something completely different.
Yeah, it's a completely different like style of game, but they did their best. Thumbs up for doing your best. And who went to? I think it was the Overwatch team and the Counter-Strike team that went to the semis on that, and then the Dev team and Apex Legends team on the other side. But it was interesting.
So when you say the Dev team, are you're talking about the people who made Valorant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And everybody thought they were going to be like ended up winning in the end, since the game only has really been out in the public for a couple of weeks now. But the first game was like Canyon versus Dev, and they lost, I think, like 13-7 or something. So I almost doubled up the score on them. But they kind of stepped it up after that. They won the next couple games to advance, and then they had a really, really close game against the Counter-Strike team, which is like it went to the full 25 rounds, which was pretty good. But yeah, it was an interesting watch. It was something interesting to do in this quarantine time. It wasn't on TV; it was on Twitch. So there was obviously all the trolls coming out, making fun of the commentators and stuff, and obviously everybody defending their side, and everybody hating on Fortnite because it's Fortnite.
Yeah, whatever. It's Fortnite. Whatever. Fortnite.
But yeah.
It's better than PUBG, though.
That is true. Yeah. Although I was watching some old PUBG videos I made like a few years back, and they were entertaining. I was having a lot of fun. It was like watching them for the first time. I was laughing. I was my heart was broken. It was happening all over again.
Oh.
I need to make some of those, like break those down to like 5 minutes per game, like 5-minute matches, and then put them on YouTube just to upload them. But they'll be fun.
To save them.
Yeah, just to save the memories.
That's what it is. Go back when you're 70, show the grandkids.
Exactly.
I could have been a contender, little man. Could have been a contender.
I was honestly surprised at how good I was at the time. And this is like on the Xbox version, which is the worst version. Because it was there's so many issues. I remember you tried it, You had no
Bro,
fun.
I think I played 2 games, maybe. I tried 2 games. I got a super punch. I knocked somebody out with a punch, and I was like, that's it. I've achieved everything I wanted to in this game. Uninstall.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure you forgot a part in there where you died multiple times and you got upset. Just want to point that out.
Terrible. It was terrible, man. It was terrible. But I was playing on old Xbox hardware as well. Like
that is
Gen
fair.
1.
That is fair.
So, and it was just chugging along.
Horribly optimized. It was a poor excuse for a game. They should have not released that.
It was really bad. That was actually, I got a refund on it, actually. And Xbox is notorious for not giving you refunds for digital downloads. But I bought it and returned it like within a matter of hours.
They're like, oh man, he really didn't like that.
So they hooked me up. That was nice.
What's up, Decisive? No, we will not be starting over from the beginning. Sorry. That's what the VOD is for. But welcome. Yeah, so we talked about my Valorant experience. Damn these Chinese companies. What, you won't be playing it? I could see that.
No.
It's
no, as soon as you said Counter-Strike, I was like, nope.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like, and you mentioned it as well before, is like that style of game where you're like one life to live, and you don't really get a lot of chance to make mistakes and really learn unless, and for our style of play, because we like to make mistakes and learn from those experiences. But if every game is important, if every life is important, you can't like be willing to make mistakes. You have to play a certain way to help the team out, and then you're like, well, I didn't really learn anything. I'm just doing my best not to embarrass myself and hurt the team.
I'm just too damn reckless, bro. That's real talk.
Too. and now, this comes up into the next topic, talking about being reckless, having uber amounts of confidence. We're talking about Top Gun.
That was such a good transition, though. Such a good transition.
Well, because I was thinking about it, but like leading up to playing Valorant, I watched Top Gun because I had nothing better to do with my life. I'd never seen it before, and I've been wanting to watch it for a long, long time. Especially after this article I put in our rundown, which is talking about how Top Gun is unintentional gay classic, and I mean, I was expecting something gayer than what I saw, but no, it wasn't that bad. There was some interesting chemistry between Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise for sure, but they definitely there was a difference between coming up to going up to somebody being a jerk, and then what Val Kilmer was doing, where he was negging, he was trying to get Tom Cruise's attention. He had other ulterior motives in what he was saying in terms of how he was approaching the situation. He was that guy at the bar who's like, "Oh man, that dress doesn't look that great on you, girl," whatever, or something.
Yeah.
But it was. Like I said, I've never seen it before. Always heard about it. I was expecting it to be more raw military type piece, trying to get people recruited for the Navy and stuff. But no, it was an entertaining movie. It had a lot of great cinematography in terms of the aerial stuff. I was very impressed by that, especially for an 80s movie. I was just watching how did they mount cameras to these planes to even do any of this stuff. It was very impressive. But moving forward to the sequel, I can't wait. If I do see it, I want to see it in IMAX just to see how amazing it looks in that, because that's all I was thinking. I'm this movie would be amazing in IMAX.
Yeah.
Back to the point. Well, the first point, and then we'll get into the gay subject thing, the confidence thing. So I was watching it, and this is a thing I've had issues with recently in gaming, in life. You've mentioned it before, me being confident. I remember back in the day, I'd play a game and I was the most confident person in the lobby. I'd be the star, I'd be the top performer, come in, wreck shop, be the best all the time. And somewhere along the line, I got soft. I turned in my wings, man. And and I don't got it anymore, man. I get the shakes, I get the sweats now when I play games like Valorant. I can't be that star. I'm just like, I'm letting myself and my team down. I don't know what's going on.
You're holding on too tight, man. You're holding on too tight.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like a thing that's been in the back of my head a lot when I play games now. It's like, how do I get it back? Angel, how do I get it back? That's a question for you in the chat.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right. So first off, Top Gun is one of my all-time favorite movies, right? I got the digital remaster with the extended director's commentary, did research on this movie. So there are a lot of questions that you have that I can answer, especially that go into the whole homoerotic undertones of the movie, because, shocker, the director was bisexual, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so there were certain scenes in there that actually had nothing to do with the story or the movie, but he just thought that the actors were beautiful, such as the volleyball scene. The volleyball scene has nothing to do with the movie. If you were to remove that scene, you would still have the same narrative, right? It doesn't really add to it. But from the director's own mouth, he said that he had all of these beautiful men, and he just wanted to do something where he could show off their bodies. So they brought in sand, they created a volleyball court, and they filmed that scene. So that was why that scene was filmed. But why I'm bringing that up is because it messed up a dude like me who ended up joining the service, right? And before I joined the service, I had consumed a bunch of military movies to get my mind right. And Top Gun was one of the ones that I had consumed. And there I am, young Airman Angel, on his first Air Force base, talking to people like, yo, when we going to get together and play some volleyball? They're looking at me like, listen here, Airman. We don't do, nobody plays volleyball, all right? What are you talking about? So I just wanted to point that out, that sometimes the stuff you see in these military movies is not true.
Yeah, that's
also,
very true.
Side note, Top Gun was actually one of the best recruiting tools that ever worked for the Navy. So the year that Top Gun came out was also the year that they had the highest number of people coming in to be recruited into the Navy. So that's something else. It was an unintentional recruiting tool that the Navy didn't even want to use, but they ended up using because the movie was so successful. There's something else out there.
Yeah,
anyways,
I have seen that in the past, like like some of those stats and stuff, just like the explosion of people joining.
Shot up. Shit, I wanted to be a Top Gun. I didn't like the idea of being on a boat in the middle of the ocean because I didn't know how to swim at the time. That's real talk. That's why I didn't join the Navy. It's like, yo, I can't swim. I'm not about that life. It's so stupid.
Yeah, so it's interesting too, is like the delineation of different sects of the military. Like I when I like always hear about Top Gun, I think of the planes, and I think, oh, that's going to be like about the Air Force, but no, it's about the Navy being out in the ocean on the ships and stuff like that. And it was, what's going on here?
I'm sorry, my microphone is messed up. It for some reason slipped off of its holder, so now I'm just going to hold it here like a weirdo. Don't mind me. Hashtag ghetto, like ghetto life. Anyway, to get back to your main...
I mean, this is all the main topic. This is all... We're talking about Top Gun, and if you're just joining us, I just watched Top Gun for the first time ever. Yes, shocker. What's wrong with me? All that stuff. I just never had the opportunity to watch it, and I especially in my later years, I want to make sure I like sat down, really took it in as a movie. I don't like to...
Really took it in, huh?
Exactly. But I as like now when I watch movies, I like to like shut off everything, just focus on a movie or a show, whatever I'm watching, make sure like I understand it completely or understand it to the best of my abilities so I can discuss it in terms of like this podcast. But yeah, Tom Cruise took it in.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. There are a lot of stuff that happened in Top Gun that is relevant to military service. Let me know, guys, if my mic sounds weird because I'm holding it, moving it around. But
You sound good
uh,
as of now.
okay, so there were a lot of things that were relevant in terms of how people react to orders, the drive to want to be the best, and sometimes extending ourselves and making decisions that cause problems. Like one time, true story. I wanted to be the best jet engine mechanic, right? At the time I was in E3, which is, I don't know what that would be in the civilian sector. That's like I don't know, like a brand new employee, which I guess I don't know what that transitions to civilian sector. But so here I am, this low ranking guy, but I had these ambitions to be the best jet engine mechanic because I wanted to be in charge. I wanted to be running things, and I had to install a jet engine, and it was my first time doing this by myself. And then the only reason why I was in that position is because we didn't have enough manpower. But I distinctly remember that I had this ambition to be the best, and I wanted to be in charge, and I took charge, that I wasn't doing things correctly. Like I had cut some corners, and essentially what happened was I ended up dropping this jet engine in the cradle. So it had dropped, I don't know, roughly about 2 feet or so. So this is a like over $1 million jet engine that I had dropped, which, that created some things. But the point that I wanted to say was that some of the things that Maverick was doing in the movie, you might think, hey, that's stupid. No one would ever do that stuff in real life. Well, no, that stuff actually happens, and more, because we are programmed to try and be the best. So we don't accept mediocrity, and not even that, being excellent isn't good enough. So sometimes we do stuff that put us in certain positions, and we overextend, and we make some shitty decisions. So there's a lot of truth. I know it's kind of funny, but there is a lot of truth. Even the scene where he was singing to the woman and trying to impress her, there's some truth to that too. That actually happens. Put on the uniform thinking that it would make us look sexy and go out there and chit chat. Like, that's truth. That stuff happens as well.
People actually sing that song at karaoke alone, and
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Babe.
Yo, next time, if there's ever next time karaoke, I'll join you for.
No,
you've
there
lost
will
that
be
love and
haste
feeling.
next time, and we will do it.
I mean, we could do it on the internet. We got Twitch Sings. We could do a karaoke jamboree here on the Twitch.
Bro, we're gonna make that shit happen. And now that I know that that's a thing, because sometimes I do karaoke on the stream. Now that I know that's a thing, it's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Well, look what I've done.
But you had asked a question, right? Like, you had held on too tight, lost the edge, and you were making some references to the movie, but you were talking about losing the edge. Let's start off first with, why do you think that you lost the edge? Why do you think that happens?
Oh, I just feel like I'm not performing like the way I would perform when I was like really my Top Gun self. Trying to strive to be the best all the time. Maybe that's the issue. I don't really play a lot of multiplayer games anymore. So I do jump in occasionally, but I never, like, when I do, it's always like team-based games, and I just do my best to not hurt the team, as I was talking about Valorant. I don't like to take the lead. I used to always like be the leader, call out what are you? I'm watching you mess around with your mic now. Be the leader, take the lead, and call out orders and commands to get us through games. And I feel like when I do hop into that mindset for like a little bit, because I go back and forth in and out of that like mindset sometimes, I feel like I'm more successful, and with whatever team I'm playing with, is more successful. But for whatever reason, it's just like a bad lighter. Like, you're just sitting there like flicking it, trying to get it to go, but you can't get the fire started. You just hear the gas, and you're like, well, what the hell is wrong with me? I don't know.
There's a lot that goes into that, because I ran into the same thing with so for those who don't know some of my backstory, I too used to be a competitive gamer, right? So I used to go out to competitions, and that was a thing. I used to compete in and won tournaments in COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, I got to play Black Ops when it first released, and I was part of the NOS energy team. I won a tournament in Halo. I won a team tournament in Street Fighter. Then I used to travel to tournaments. Motivational speaking, like there's a whole bunch of other stuff I used to do. I also used to be a martial artist, and I would go to tournaments. I'm gold medal winner in multi-time gold medal winner in martial arts tournaments, forms, sparring, techniques. And then I also used to do MMA fighting. So I was like an amateur MMA fighter. And I was doing a lot of training before I stopped fighting because my ex-wife had asked me. So we get some stuff squared away. Competitive, I'd apply loosely to him. Don't listen to Hariel. Hariel's is jealous. So I used to travel to tournaments and go, but it was difficult also because I was, being active duty military. So there was also competition that was going on in active duty military when you're talking about ranking, politicking for position, and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different things that go on. But the only reason why I'm giving this backstory is that there is some of it has to do with age, right? Some of it has to do with age and perspective. Some of it also has to do with the changing of interests. So, now whenever I do some training or martial arts training, it isn't with the intention of going out and winning tournaments or looking to go into fights. So now my training is more focused on how to protect myself in case something happens, right? So the training changes. And then video games also, we may not have that competitive nature because now the video game itself has turned into more of like something you do for relaxation, or maybe instead of expressing the competitive side of things, you're now expressing your analytical side of things, and you're looking at it more as an art form and critiquing it that way. So sometimes the edge, although it can be something different, it happens to everybody, but it comes down to purpose, what our purpose is, and just understanding that we change. Our perspective on life changes. Our motivations and what we consider to be success and what it is that we're trying to strive for, that stuff changes. And in order to get that stuff back, the competitive nature, it really comes down to understanding what is the benefit of that competitive nature. What is the purpose of being competitive? And if you find something that means something to you as a person, or you understand why you're competitive in the first place, then that's how you're able to get it back. And then not only that, understanding that what made you successful before or how you were successful before will change. So in our youth, we had reaction speed, right?
Oh, yeah.
That diminishes over time. So then we have to start using something else. So instead of using, like when I play, I made a recording yesterday was it yesterday or the day before, where I went and I played Rumble and I played competitive Destiny, right? So I can't rely on reaction speeds because now I'm 40 and I'm playing against kids like from 13, so starting as young as 12, 13-year-olds, and those guys, you think in the speed of internet, you know what I mean? So they're gonna defeat me in reaction speeds, and I'm playing with a broken controller that makes it difficult for me to turn left, right? So I have
using
two
that
things.
excuse.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it. So realizing that there are certain deficiencies in my ability to be successful, I had to hone other abilities, such as utilizing corners, trying to memorize maps, having a specific route that I would run, finding a weapon that may not be the best, but a weapon that I used that I liked, and then understanding how to use that weapon to best suit me, So that's the same thing with any type of competition. So you may not have reaction speeds in a game like in a first-person shooter, for instance, like Valorant. You may not have reaction speeds anymore, but understanding that whenever you peek around a corner in a first-person shooter, the person who does the peeking has a limited window where they actually have the advantage in a firefight. So whenever you peek out, you have a millisecond or two, however many frames that translates into, where you would be able to see the enemy before the enemy sees you. And then the response rate from when you fire and the server reacting to firing gives you the upper hand, so you have a split section. So using that to your advantage, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
not true in Valorant.
Well, they reduced it. So I was looking into how they do the coding for Valorant, and they reduced it in order to try and get rid of it. But what I'm saying is, though, like in certain games, that's something that you can use using those advantages, or the placement of the reticle. So if you already place the reticle in a certain position to where it's going to be a headshot level as you're transitioning and traveling around, and that means you have to make smaller adjustments for a headshot, which gives you an advantage. So if you can't have the reaction speed, you already have something pre-positioned. So, but it really comes down to the why. Why am I going to invest into this? And that's why I stopped playing Street Fighter.
That's a fair point in the why. Because now it's like, why am I going to play a game I don't like an Overwatch or something? So I don't really hop into many competitive games anymore. It's mostly because I don't like to play those kinds of games. So when I do play a game, I'm like, oh man, it's like I haven't played in a decade of first-person shooters because I got to relearn the wheel. And then once it gets back to me, I start getting that groove back. But it definitely takes like a lot of exposure to get back to where I was before, unfortunately.
It just takes time. It's refining.
I
And
hate
as
it.
we get older, it takes
I want to go
longer.
game to game without having to think about it. I want to still be a god.
I
But,
mean, you can, but
it's too
warm-up
like if
time.
you take a week off. For me now, if I take a week off from a game, it's like I took like 20 steps backwards, and I have to relearn everything, get back into like the flow of any game. Like we were playing Bloodstain, and I had started it, then took a couple days off, went back and finished Ori, and I jumped into Bloodstain, and my brain wasn't functioning properly into like how to move properly through that game through Bloodstain because I was playing Ori and I'm like all backwards now. So that's a good example, and that wasn't even like a complicated example. But yeah,
No, it's perfect. I ran into that when I was playing Bloodstained, and I put in like 30 hours into Bloodstained, and then we decided to jump into Destiny and grinding in Destiny. And then I was having a difficult time transitioning back. Like it took me an entire stream before I started getting warmed up. Yeah, I feel you.
getting old
I don't think
sucks.
that.
I'm gonna go get some testosterone therapy. I'll be back in it just like that. Watch. Give me 2 weeks.
It just changes. You know,
Shoot me up now.
There is a difference in our age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So eventually,
like I said,
I'm gonna get worse.
40.
Is what you're saying. I don't want to get worse.
it in some aspects, right? Age comes for us, all, man.
Time is
Time is
undefeated.
undefeated.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Nobody can defeat. But when one skill set falls, another skill set can rise. So what I used to rely on in just pure instinct or adrenaline or reactions, and then I would do less analytics. Now it's switched. So now I realize that my reactions are not as good as they used to be. So I spend more time breaking down the game, trying to understand the analytics behind it in order to find a level of success. So, and then of course, redefining what success means is another thing. And then realizing, is it worth the time? Again, that's why I stopped playing Street Fighter. So
Yeah, that's the thing with games now. It's just not worth putting all that time and effort into. And there's all these other games that you want to play and experience. You're missing out on all this stuff because you're grinding it out in Destiny and whatnot.
it's true. It is so true. That's so true.
And the way games are made is bad too. Games are made now to force you to play as long as possible, and
spend as much as possible.
Exactly.
Spend as much as possible. This was something I actually got upset about. Destiny. Let me see if I can find what I wrote, because I sent it to my group chat, because I have a group chat with a bunch of my stream team, my peoples, and I put something in there about Destiny because I was so upset about it. I'm gonna try and find it, but
But
Anyways, I can't find it right now. I should have had it pre-positioned.
let's jump back into Top Gun. I had a curious question. You're a hardcore Top Gun fan here.
Okay.
I want to know if you knew this little trivia tidbit, but
Okay.
do you know the other song that was supposed to be in the movie before Highway to the Danger Zone?
Son of a bitch. I used to. I used to know it. No, I don't remember it now. I can't recall.
This is
Damn.
probably why I ended up watching Top Gun recently, because I've been doing this Instagram challenge, and it's 30 days. It's a 30-day challenge. Each day is a different song, and I'm like, I'm gonna do all Judas Priest songs, and Judas Priest is my favorite band. And so I looked ahead on the days. I'm like, where can I put songs here and there? And I'm like, I want to throw in "Reckless," which is the Judas Priest song that almost was the Top Gun theme. And like at the time, they the studios approached them. They're like, hey, we want to take that song that you're about to come out with and put it in Top Gun. The only issue was that would take the song off their album, and it would be and they really liked the song at the time, and they didn't want to take it off the album. So nah, we're fine. We're not gonna put that in the movie. And then history was made. Highway to the Danger Zone happened, and I feel like it's probably a better fit, but in another universe, in an alternate reality, Judas Priest, Reckless is the song people remember nowadays instead of Highway to the Danger Zone, which would have been an interesting turn in history, but you never know. You never know what could have happened.
Well, it gets even better because the composer, the person who wrote that song, he only got the job because no one wanted to write music for Top Gun, right? No one really wanted to be a part of it. And the first song that he wrote was actually for the volleyball scene, playing with the boys. Yeah. So the director really liked that song, and that's what got him the job composing for the rest. And then he just started making all of these tracks.
Wait, wasn't that Giorgio Moroder or something? Or was that because I saw his name a lot in the credits for writing the songs.
I thought it was Kenny Loggins or
Kenny Loggins did the Playing with Boys song, and then he ended up singing the Highway to the Danger Zone. But Giorgio Moroder wrote all the other songs in the thing.
He started getting his stuff together. It was pretty legit.
Yeah, I don't know where to look that up right now. But yeah, Tokyo Drift song, that would be interesting. 30 years or 25 years before the Tokyo Drift song appeared. To see it in Top Gun would be an interesting experience. Decisive, you were talking about this Destiny. Decisive in my chat was asking if you've used the Hunter subclass with the Knucklehead Radar exotic helmet.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't remember what it was, but I do recall that name.
Is that it? That's is that the question?
Yeah. Have you used that for any sort of multiplayer stuff to give yourself a little bit more of an edge?
A little bit of an edge. So no, I did before. I'll explain why. So I did before, but then I realized that because of how I play, I'm very reckless, extremely reckless, and very aggressive whenever I play. So the Knucklehead would almost, I guess, more information as to where the people were. But then what I realized was that when I was running and traversing the map, and then how I was approaching the corners, that I didn't need to know specifically where they were around the corner, because as you're coming around the corner, there's essentially boxes, right? So as I'm looking at the characters, I'm thinking in terms of everything in terms of boxes. And there's a specific area to which the reticle is going to be sitting as you're running around a corner, and the character model, their head and body will only fit a specific amount of screen space as I'm cutting the corner. So any benefit that I would get from running with Knucklehead was negated by the understanding that the character box will only cover so much of the screen at any one time as I'm running in a specific direction. So rather than do that, I would run either no exotic at all, or I would start messing around with the exotic that would give me 2 knives if I was trying to be fancy pantsy, or there was another one exotic that I was experimenting with that would give me 2 dodges. And as a hunter, it was more important for me to have dodges to quickly get away from things than some of the other benefits that I would get from many of the other exotics while playing in, multiplayer.
I never liked the dodge. I felt like it was too slow. Like
it
you
used
have
to be faster.
Yeah.
It used to be faster. They nerfed it coming into D2, but the dodge is pretty good because if you're playing against a character, another player who isn't tracking, right? Who isn't tracking and already trying to adjust for your movement speed. Because typically people, whenever they dodge in the direction that they're strafing. So if everybody's shooting and running to the right, then 9 times out of 10, their dodge is going to be in that same direction. Because rather than change direction and hit the circle button to do the dodge, they just hit the circle button as a response to the attack that's happening. So you just kind of go into it. But I use the dodge more for either if I'm turning a corner and I'm trying to make a quick getaway to go backwards, or for reloading my FR4, which is the fusion rifle that I play with.
Yeah, that's the benefit I see from it when I was playing, is like to reload, and then like if you have cover already, then you need to get back into cover quickly.
Dip back into the cover, exactly.
Other than that, I didn't like implementing it.
Unless you were playing as Nighthawk or the Night Stalker, and then you go invisible. And then some people, you can tell that some people aren't accustomed to seeing a hunter go invis, and they lose them in the environment. So you see that happen sometimes. Because it happened to me. Because I played people playing, and I was like, nobody was playing as a Night Stalker hunter going in invis. So the first time somebody was doing it, I was like, oh god! But yeah, locked them down. But I have a video where I went, as I was talking about, I ended up winning. So I played only 2 rounds of Rumble, and I won both rounds. And it wasn't because how do I say this? It wasn't because I'm better, like a better player. It's not because I'm a gifted player. It's because I was using more knowledge of the situation in order to win. So that's how I was winning. So I wasn't relying on speeds, because these kids were faster than I am. I was just using the map and using predictive algorithms to beat them. That was basically it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, somebody's going over here. They're at the heavy. If you engage somebody in a heavy and you come around the corner, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go airborne in order to avoid combat, right? Especially if they're by a heavy for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what people do. So I turned the corner. I started charging. They heard the charge. They went airborne, predicted, boom, and I was getting the kills. So that's what people do. They hear you charging a fusion rifle, they go airborne. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. You start losing one skill, you have to hone another.
True.
Know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyways, but that's Top Gun in a nutshell. It's amazing. I blast that soundtrack. I love watching that movie. I make friends watch it. Shit is legit.
Yeah, I was surprised I liked it as much as I did. I'm not going to be joining the military, but I did like it. I really did.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in that movie that's not true anyway. You know
yeah, like you get a pretty girl, you meet her at the bar, and then she works at the base that you work on.
Well,
that's actually can't happen now.
That can happen. that can happen.
Only because of proximity.
They may turn out to be an officer. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I can neither confirm nor deny, because that's fraternization. But I'm just saying.
You're retired.
I have dated. That happens. Like I met a woman. Turned out that she was a pilot for the B1s. Whatever. Things happen. And I was just a lowly E5 enlisted guy. You know, whatever. Things happen. You got to keep it quiet.
That's always the hard part.
Another tidbit, the song by Berlin, Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
So they made that song for Top Gun, and the group hated that song. They hated that song. and it turned out to be the biggest song that they ever made. So much so that they tried to get the group to come and sing it at, I think it was at the Grammys or Oscars or something.
Probably the Oscars.
Maybe that's what it was. But they didn't want to sing it because they had to share the limelight with some other band that was at #1 at the time. But they hated that song. And then, years later, the group was commenting on how that was one of their biggest regrets, not doing that. And yeah, so their biggest song of all time is one that they they didn't even want to record in the first place. They didn't like.
It happens.
Anyway.
But what do you think of the new Top Gun coming out, Top Gun Maverick? Are you excited? Are you nervously excited? Worried?
Listen here, Eric. I absolutely am excited. Okay, and I absolutely am going to see it. Why? Because first off, I love crazy ass Tom Cruise. Okay, I love Tom Cruise. I don't care he's crazy. He's a phenomenal actor. Okay, y'all can talk shit about Tom all you want. He is a phenomenal actor. So I can believe that he is going to do the movie right. 2, I'm just really curious. Like, what are they going to talk about? How are they? I'm very curious. So I want to go see it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited.
Yeah, after watching the movie and immediately watching the trailer, I think I've come across some story points that are going to be happening in the movie already. I'm interested. I'll definitely see it now. I already mentioned I want to see this in IMAX. It's probably not going to happen with the way the quarantine is going down, but this movie is definitely going to look amazing. It's definitely shot very well, especially if they take anything from what they did in the first movie. I threw up the trailer in the stream.
I'm watching it right now. I got a chub right now, just to let you know.
I'm getting hard. God, off the bat, that was for second line of dialogue. It's like that guy's like, "Oh, you're making me hard," or whatever. This is making me hard. I'm like, "Oh God, this might be a gay movie."
Okay, to be clear, let's go ahead and clear something up right now. But a lot of military guys talk like that.
I mean, yeah,
especially maintenance.
A bunch of guys. I mean, the majority of guys talk like that. Like I know in
it's like whatever.
Like in what was it called, the Adam Sandler movie that just came out. Oh, well, Gems, something Gems. Somebody help me. Oh, fuck. Whatever movie just came out with. I can't look it up because I have my browser playing the trailer. But yeah, like he in like the first 5 minutes, Uncut Gems. Thank you, Dev Money.
Dev Money to the rescue.
I was close. But yeah, like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, like he's talking about like some bet he's in or something, and like at the end of like the intro to the character, he's like, "I'm gonna come." I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be an interesting ride for sure. But
it's all true. It's all true. So I think part of it, right? It's very difficult to explain a lot of the stuff that happens in the military, but the dark humor, the homoerotic undertones, the over accentuation of all things manly and violence and all that other stuff. It's like there's a lot of stress. You should just leave that on loop, bro. That's just amazing. Just leave it on loop. Nobody wants to see me. They want to see Top Gun. But it helps. It helps. I guess that's why I'm rocking my DD214 shirt. What up? Shout out to the military. It's mediums only. So it helps. Like, so we have all this dark humor and everything else because it helps to combat like the stress and the pressures and everything else that you're put under. Because you have to keep in mind, most kids at 17, 18 years old, they're still complaining about freedoms they don't have or fighting over pork and veganism and other dumb shit. But then you have these kids who go into the military and all of a sudden, right, some of these guys are being trained to be on the front lines and boom, they're in combat. Other kids are being trained to work on a multi-million-dollar jet engine on a B-1 bomber that's going to fly over into a combat zone. Boom. Some other kids over here working, managing millions of dollars in base funds that are required to pay people, pay for equipment, pay for supplies, troop movements, families' lives, right? So the level of pressure that these kids are being put on off the go is on another level, right? It's very difficult to explain that to most civilians who are arguing over, I don't know, dumb shit. So there's like, you have this pressure, and because you have all of this enormous pressure, then the relief system is going to be directly proportional. So if you're super under pressure, well, then your humor is going to be super crude sometimes, because you need something that crazy to relieve that pressure. Or sometimes your humor might be dark, or you might do a bunch of gay stuff. I don't know. It's whatever.
You might do a bunch of gay stuff.
Whatever.
It's Hollywood.
Basketball, whatever.
Everybody gay for a little bit.
Fun. Whatever. Whatever, man.
I was watching Tropic Thunder clips recently. You
Whatever.
couldn't tell.
Who cares? Funny. Shit. Anyway, military is a different world, man. It's a different world. Anyway, so a lot of stuff that happened in Top Gun is true. It is true.
Except for the volleyball, as you found out.
The volleyball is not true. I found that out, and I got made fun of for at least 6 months, because that's what military guys do. They remind you of things that you try and forget. So yeah, for at least 6 months, they made fun of me for wanting to play volleyball on an Air Force base. So stupid.
So Hariel had an interesting question earlier when we were talking about, when I first mentioned I hadn't seen Top Gun before. He asked what other 80s flicks hadn't I seen yet. I pulled up a list of the top 25 movies. Well, a list of top 25. It's not like the definitive list of top 25. This is some weird website I've never even heard of. First movie is Moonstruck. Don't know what the hell that is. Next movie is The Never-Ending Story. Never seen it. I'm sorry,
What?
Angel. I'm sorry, Angel.
What?
I know the song way before stupid Stranger Things. I just never seen it.
I don't even know who you are right now. I
What
don't
do you
even know
mean?
who you
I'm
are.
one man, man. This is what I have to tell everybody. I'm one man. I can't watch everything. I can't listen to everything. I'm one man.
All right.
There's limitations to a human body. But anyway,
Move on. I'm disgusted.
next movie is Working Girl. Don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
Big, seen that. Beverly Hills Cop. I want to say I've seen that, but in my conscious mind, in a point where I can remember, I'm going to say I haven't seen it. So.
Oh my.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, seen it. Let me get a count so I can tally these top movies.
Because he just wanted to say which ones you haven't seen, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
2, 3 of this list. Okay. Beetlejuice, seen that. Say Anything. I've seen the clip. I've seen the song. I've never seen the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Back to the Future, one of my all-time favorites. Ghostbusters, seen that. E.T., seen that. Made my mom mad when I saw that because, I don't know why. She was she really wanted to see that movie with me. And I watched it at a friend's house, and she got really mad.
Oh, yeah. What a jerk.
I mean, it was. I didn't put it on TV. I didn't have control of the TV. What do you want from me? The Goonies, conscious mind. I would say I haven't seen it in recency, to be able to remember it. I'll add that to the list of not seen. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, seen. Top Gun, just watched. Stand By Me. I've seen a lot of bits of it. I've never seen the whole movie. Dirty Dancing. Same thing. I've seen bits of it. I just haven't seen the whole movie. Coming to America. Seen bits. Haven't seen the whole movie.
Oh my gosh! What have you been doing with your life?
I grew up in a different time, man.
Oh my gosh.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Seen that. Haven't seen the second one, all the way through.
It was okay.
Okay, this one's going to hurt you. I can guarantee you. I was just talking about this on stream the other day.
Okay.
The Princess Bride, have not seen.
Oh my. All right, you're going to have to carve out time and start watching these movies, man.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, seen it. Breakfast Club, seen it. Fame, I don't know what that is.
It's not worth your time.
Footloose, never interested me, but I've seen bits and pieces of it. The Outsiders, seen it. Wait, let me make sure. Yes, the Ralph Macchio thing, seen that. Do the Right Thing, love that movie. I think that's the end of the list. So of the 25 that on this list, I haven't seen
Yeah.
10-ish of them.
So there's a difference between that list and then the movies that were the top grossing during the 80s. So there is a clear difference. And then a lot of the movies that you mentioned are cult classics as well. So they didn't perform well during initial release, but they ended up becoming more famous over time. And Dev Monty over here completed the song because every time I hear Fame, I always go into the song. Fame, I want to live forever. And that's not worth your time. But some of the movies that you haven't seen, they just kind of affected cinema for the rest of time.
Well, pop culture. And like, that goes back to a topic that you had on your stream once. Like that thing about like references that you may not know, but like they're a part of you without knowing them.
Yeah.
We still haven't found the term for that. If anybody wants to deep dive.
So the Never-Ending Story. First off, it's based off of a book. I don't know if anybody knows that, but the Never-Ending Story, which is based off of a book, the movie only tells half of the book. But it's pop culture now because of Stranger Things. So everybody knows the song, right? It's such a great song, and it's such a great movie. So you should watch that. But Beverly Hills Cop is one that you have to watch, man. That changed the whole the genre of that type of movie, man.
I will attempt to do or watch some of these movies in the coming week.
Oh my god!
I don't think I can watch all of them.
And Say Anything, everybody knows, right? It's iconic. The guy standing there with the radio.
I've seen that. I just haven't seen the rest of the movie. I feel like it's just that scene. What's the point of the rest of the movie?
Is the term called iconography? Is that the right term?
I don't believe so. I think that's something else.
It might be. I don't know. But it's an iconic, and I bring it up because I just watched it last night on made a friend of mine watch it. Just watched it last night, and it's funny because first off, John Cusack, the actor, was prevalent during the 80s, right, into the 90s, and he made some masterpieces that totally showed the struggle of a young person going into adulthood and having to deal with romance, right, and how awkward that can be. So, but that's what Say Anything it's about. It's about a young man who meets a woman. They're completely different people, showing how their relationship grows, and then how their relationship is impacted by life events that they can't control. That's outside of their control. A really good one. A really good movie.
I'll think about it.
Yeah,
I definitely have a list that I want to watch.
Maybe you should save that for a date.
I mean, hey, that's not going to happen. I can watch a romance movie by myself.
Yeah, but Dirty Dancing is another good one too. Because if you watch it once as a movie, it's entertaining, and then if you watch it once again as a narrative on social acceptance of things, then versus now, then the movie is completely different. Completely different. Still good, but you realize how messed up it is. I know, Better Off Dead. I'm surprised Better Off Dead isn't on there. That's one of his best works. Another John Cusack movie.
All right, I'll add him to the list. There's thousands of movies I'm sure on this list that I'll never get to, but I'll try to expedite the 80s just for you guys.
Monstrous.
I'm one man. There's tons of movies I've watched that you've never seen, I'm sure. None come to mind right now, but
so I'm sure there are. But I don't know. During like the 80s and 90s, I consumed a lot of movie media. That's what I did a lot. Video games and movies is what I did a lot of. So I watched a lot of, and then since we didn't have a lot of money to buy movies, so we couldn't sometimes afford the good movies. So, mom would come home with like these bargain bin movies. Oh my gosh.
So you end up with like the low tier blood sports, the knockoff blood sports.
Bloodsport 7, you know what I mean?
16 Candles, I remember a lot of the movie. I just don't remember seeing remember seeing it. So I have to reinvestigate that again.
Oh man, 16 Candles. That's a classic.
But that's the thing. I count movies. I don't count movies that I can't remember. But then again, I'm getting old now, so I can't remember anything after I watched it. But I know I've seen a lot of these like when I was younger. I just don't remember like.
Yeah.
They weren't around, or I didn't see them in a time when I could like cognitively like draw from them and really say I like experienced the movie. But yeah, oh yeah, speaking of which, it's so hard to find some of these movies. Top Gun, not on any like legitimate streaming site. I would have to have rented it, and I was not about that life, so I used alternate means to watch it.
Oh my gosh, yo.
But it worked out.
Don't get me started on these stupid ass streaming services, man. Oh my gosh. Stupid. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting.
See, I wish I was more effective on the Blockbuster route. But the thing is, like, I was that kid. Well, I always rented games. But besides that, even then, I'd be that kid who like wanted to rent the same movie again. Like, we saw this one already. What's wrong? Thinking about it now, like, what's wrong with me? What? Get a new experience. It's the problem I have with so many people nowadays. They just want to do the same thing over and over again. It's comforting, I guess. You can slide back into that good feeling of something you've already experienced, but you got to get out there.
That's why I love cuddling.
I mean, cuddling is fantastic, yes, but.
Oh shit, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I watched a lot of movies. So part of what it was is if I knew that if I had seen movies, again, as I said before, I was a very awkward kid. You know, I've said this multiple times on multiple streams. It's like, so I was this weird, awkward nerd who also smelled funny. So in order to try, I did. That was terrible. So in order to try and connect with people, if I knew about movies or was able to like repeat lines or something like that, I felt that would make me cool. And sometimes people would positively respond to that. You know, I could remember certain lines or words from songs from movies or shows, trying to be cool. But more often than not, it just made me look worse.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I was that same kid who just like memorized movies, but then I'd always memorize like the old movies. So like Spaceballs, I had that whole movie memorized. I go to school and then
that's a great movie. Great.
Yeah, I have it like the entire thing memorized. Go to school, like quote it, and only like my best friend would know like what I was saying. Everybody else thought I was that weird kid who watched old crap. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. I feel you, man.
It was terrible.
So Dave brought up two things. Let's go ahead and hit Footloose first. So have you seen Footloose?
I'm gonna say no.
No. So I had no desire to watch Footloose at all because it looked terrible in the trailers and everything, right?
Yeah.
And then one day my daughter, I was like, this is terrible. But then my daughter, because I'll do movie dates with my daughter, right? So for the movie date, she wanted me to watch Footloose. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I gotta watch this shitty ass movie. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this crappy ass movie just to make my daughter.
I just want to point out, see, he grew up in the 80s and he didn't see Footloose. I just want to point this out.
It looked whack. It looks so stupid.
And I was born in the 90s and I'm expected to see all these movies. Come on now. It's like, we're one man, or each one man, one woman, or anything in between. You can't be expected to see everything. I just want to point that out.
Trash.
But anyway,
it's trash. But, you know, so I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. And you know what? It actually turned out to be a really good movie. It was actually really good. Like the story and the conflicts. Some of the dance sequences were okay, but it was like the story was really good. And I told my daughter that too. I was like, you know, I'm really happy that you made me watch this movie because I thought it was going to be shit. But I'm glad I watched the movie. Thank you, Mama. So yes, Footloose, it may not look like an appealing movie, but you should give it a shot. It actually has a really good storyline.
I'll consider it, I guess. Isn't
maybe watch that with somebody. It's a date movie.
You act like I can go out and get a date right now. One, not because of quarantine, but take that out of the equation. You act like I can go out and get a date at all.
What's your name? You're a young, good-looking dude. You just have to go out there and say, "Hi, my name is Eric."
You want to watch Footloose?
You're an attractive. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta have confidence.
We just talked about the lack of confidence.
Let me explain you. Let me
I don't know.
explain you, man. Let me explain you, right? Confidence. Confidence. If you're okay with being alone and doing things by yourself, then
Yes.
you already have a leg up. Already have a leg up in the game, my friend. Right? So now it's also like a numbers game. Some people are going to appreciate what you offer. Some people are not. That doesn't mean that you aren't good. Nah, whatever. It's their loss. So you just go out there and you ask, like, hey, hi, I saw you here. I was just wondering if we could take some time, maybe have a conversation. Would you like to get a coffee, have something to eat? They could just talk. That's it. Treat them like people. Simple.
People part we're good on. Ask out your local librarian. Harleo's throwing movies up. Big Trouble in Little China. No.
Oh my gosh.
I saw Escape from New York, I think. One of those two. One of the Escape movies I watched in recent years, but I already forgot it. Terminator, of course, I've seen. Alien, of course, I've seen.
No, do not say what Dev Monty wrote. Do not say that at all. Only Dev Monty could pull that off because he's hilarious. But don't say. Girl, are you a control point? Because I want to capture your point, B. That's so stupid. Don't even. I can't even. No. Only he can pull that shit off.
All right. Well.
Oh my gosh.
This list keeps growing, guys.
Bro, you could even throw that out there. Like that could be something, right? So here you go. How to speak to someone you're interested one-on-one. Because the techniques I'm about to tell you right now will work for whatever you're interested in, right? First thing, have confidence and be okay with being alone, right? You don't need that person. You want to spend time with that person, right? Keep that in mind. You need to drink water. You need to breathe oxygen. You want to spend time with this person. 2, be honest. Be honest. Like, hey, I came over here because you're very attractive and I would like to have a conversation, right? Be honest with your intent. Like, would you like to get a coffee? Maybe get something to eat? It's like, I'm just interested. I want to know more about you. Let's have a conversation. That's 2. Step 2. Step 3, if they say yes or no, who gives a shit? Because you're okay being alone.
Yeah, you just be like, thank you for your time. You know how many times I've had to be like that? Just be like, oh, okay. Thank you for your time.
Like, all right, thanks. I understand that. Rejection happens to everybody. Rejection happens to everybody.
I think the issue now for me is that it's been so long since I've been in a relationship. And we're going on like, what year is it? It's been like 7 years. So as time goes on, it just gets harder, I think, for myself. I gotta like just get out there. What do you call it? I don't know. Pop the cherry. That's a bad example, but just like pop the cherry off. Just break it open and then let it loose. Wrong analogies, but that's what I could think of right now. Anyway,
this guy.
What was I going to say in regards to that?
So here's
okay, continue. While we're on the subject, because you're still on the subject, I'm about to change the subject, so continue.
So right, because
get back in the saddle. Thank you, Dev Monty. That's what I was trying to come up with.
So people make it difficult, right? So the same conflicts that guys will have thinking about talking to a woman, that same nervousness, women have the same thing. Right? Women have that same nervousness and everything else. It's just that it's more accepted in society for us to expect the man to be nervous and like the man has to do all the work and all this other stuff, right? So of course, when you think that way, you're thinking, oh man, the chips are stacked against me. But it's not like that. When it comes to the dating scene, everyone's on the same level. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for someone who will respect us, that we can have a good time with and feel appreciated, right? That's a sentiment that's shared regardless of gender and interests. So if you walk into that with the understanding that, hey, I'm just going to go there and I'm just going to start a conversation because this person is also looking to have a conversation, that takes away a lot of the stress. And the way you can start is just speaking to people. So when you go to the store to buy something, like when you get out of quarantine, just throw a couple sentences at the person that you're talking to, whether they're male or female. Like, how's your day? And then you could say, oh man, I like your shirt looks good, or I like the way that you're speaking to customers, or even talk about like, hey, I came here for soda, but I didn't like the options, just to talk. And once you get used to just talking, you'll realize that even when you're talking to someone that you're attracted to and maybe want to pursue a relationship, it's all the same. You're just talking with the possibility of tying them up one day. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
I mean, that's the end game right there. That's the goal. But you know, I think that's like, I've thought about this myself in terms of like just saying something to anyone, and I just hate the idea of bothering someone. Like, and because to me, like if someone came up and was like, "Oh man, I didn't get the right drink here at this fountain," I'm like, I don't care. Don't talk to me. So I consider like talking to myself. Like I go up, like I'm walking up to anybody. I feel like, how do I approach myself? Like the 100% success rate. Like, what if I say this? Oh, that's a nice shirt. Why are you talking about my shirt? Okay, wrong strategy. Next strategy. That's so that's just, I don't know. That's me. That's something I have to get over and get better at. But
no, you have to, because you have to think about it too. Like you're trying to start a conversation with yourself, and you're not interested in talking to yourself because you talk to yourself all the time. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But right. But if it's somebody new who's talking to you, the reaction could be different, you know. And yet again, there could be somebody there. You might talk to somebody, and the woman might think you're attractive too, but because of the social norms, she might think that she has to act a certain way in order to make you do more work and whatever. Men and women are very similar. They're more alike than they are different. I'm just saying. So there are women out there who look at you and be like, "Yo, Eric is looking kind of cute today," but they're not going to go up and talk to you.
Hasn't happened in a long time.
You don't know because you don't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
I guess you're right.
They're just not going to come up to you and talk to you, right? And then if a woman came up to you and was hitting on you, you might think that she's overly aggressive for some reason, and that might be weird too.
I don't know. I haven't had many interactions in recent times. I think a girl has only said I've been attractive like maybe 2.5 times. One of those maybe doesn't count, but
oh my gosh. Listen, man. Listen. Trust me when I say. Trust me, right? Because I'm okay. I'm that confident type of dude. I will let somebody know if they're attractive. And if they're not, I won't say anything. I'm like, you have a great personality. I'm one of those guys, right? So if a woman looks attractive, I'll be like, hey, you're a very attractive woman. If a man is handsome, I'll be like, yo, bro, you're a very handsome dude. And I'm confident. I'll tell him that, right? So if I say, hey, Eric, you're a handsome dude, you'll be fine. Then believe me, because I have no reason to lie to you.
That's true.
All over the internet, where everybody can bring this up later and be like, well, you did say this. No. Be confident, because there are women out there who think you're attractive, but because of how they've been programmed to be, they won't initiate conversation, and women are expecting the men to start the conversation, and the guys are like, well, I got to do this, and blah, 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 blah. Just talk to people. It's all good.
Yeah, I got to make myself more approachable too. I feel like I got that resting dick face. Just like, I don't know.
I have that too. Like when I have the same thing. Like when it's just me out in public, I'm not approachable.
Yeah.
Like,
Blue Cheese in my chat and your chat recommended jumping on Hinge, the dating app. That's where she met her boyfriend. Much better than Tinder or Bumble, in her opinion. And the video chat dates are in right now because of the quarantine.
That is correct.
Just to get out there. I don't know. Like we talked about before, I'm not a big fan of the dating apps, especially since like the standards sometimes are just too high for so many people, because they want to give themselves the best chances of getting what they want. So I already fall under the this high to enter. I can't lie about it.
Listen to life coach Angel here, a man of many experiences, a very well-traveled experienced man. If you think you have no chance, you are absolutely correct.
It's like, you take, or you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? You just
Exactly. Right? Let me explain you what happened. Real life story. This actually happened. I'm gonna give you two real life examples of where a guy was able to date someone who was way out of his league, right? Because he believed in himself. So you have these Instagram models, right? And this particular woman is a real life fitness model and fitness pro. Like, what is it, WBF or WFF pro? Like, certified licensed professional bodybuilder slash fitness model, right? I am none of those things. I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I'm not a fitness model. I'm a dude who likes to play video games and fights every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So if we're thinking in terms of, hey, this person is out of your league, you need to only talk to people who are in your league, well, then you start to limit yourself, right? But what I did was, I have confidence in myself because I'm like, hey, I enjoy I'm fine being alone. I don't need this person. And I'm just going to go be honest. Like, hey, I think you're very attractive. I would like to get together sometime, have a conversation, right? That was step 2. And then step 3 was whatever their reaction was, I would just run with it. And it just so happened that because of the confidence and because I was honest, that she accepted my proposal. And then we went on a date and had a good time. And it actually turned out to be a wonderful relationship. But it was because I wasn't thinking, yo, this person's out of my league. You know what I'm saying? Another example. I met a surgeon in Austria. Beautiful foreign doctor. I am none of those things.
beautiful. Nope. Foreign. Nope.
I'm all
Doctor.
right.
No.
Whatever. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So we build these barriers, right? Because we're taught that they're supposed to be barriers, whatever. But as I said, if you strip all of that shit away, it's a man, it's a woman. We want to be appreciated. We want to feel desired. We want to be respected. That's it. Everybody has their things. You know what I mean? So the point is, to summarize for everybody who's watching here, from Coach Angel, if you think you are unworthy, you are absolutely correct. You will achieve nothing. But if you believe that anything is possible and you just go out there and see what happens, you will be pleasantly surprised by what can happen. So there you go. Now, I digress. Let me see what's going on here. Yo, well, the chat is blowing up.
Yeah, we got a conversation about the dating app ratios.
So dating apps, yeah. All right. Do you want to talk on this first?
I mean, you got it.
All right, here you go. Here's a life coach Angel with so many experiences. Dating apps are very good for young people. All right, first off, and by young people I mean sub 30. Once you pass 30, then the dating pool, it becomes more difficult to date using a dating app unless it is specifically designed for people in that age group, right? And that's because you are competing, and that's really what it is. You're competing against the Instagram generation is what I'm talking about. So the people who know how to use social media, the people who take the right photo from the right angle and they put in the right words, because they're creating this, like, they're building a resume. They're not looking for connections. They're building a resume. So in the dating apps, a lot of it is superficial. So for people who may not have that classic beauty or that classic handsomeness, dating apps are going to be very difficult, especially if you're a male. So if you're not an extremely handsome male, dating apps are going to make you feel really bad about yourself. And then if you're an older, not a classically handsome male, dating apps are going to make you feel really shitty about yourself. So it's a lot easier for a woman to be successful in a dating app than it is for a man, even a woman who's of mediocre beauty. So you don't need to be gorgeous to be successful on a dating app as a female, especially if you're gifted in certain areas. That's just being real. Being real. You know what I'm saying? That's just being real. So the dating app can be good because it gives you an opportunity to just go out there, have fun, and then if you are successful, you get to talk without having to be in person. So it gives you an opportunity to hone your skills at speaking to people. But so apps are okay as long as you're handsome, you're good with taking photos, and you know how to write resumes.
I that last one I'm not very good at for sure.
So
But
what I did on
what?
what I recommend on a dating app is just be yourself, bro. That's what I recommend at all times. Post a regular photo, put in something about you that is like quirky, part of your personality. And if it's successful, then you know that the person that clicked on you is because they're interested in what you really are and not what you're pretending to be. And if nobody clicks on it, then you know that that dating app and the pool of people to choose from there are not what you're looking for. Let me see.
Alrighty.
No, that's not true because a lot of guys on the apps, Tinder especially, are just looking for hookups. So what are they talking about?
We got a little argument about dating apps going on in your chat.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sir. Let me catch up with this dating app. But anyway, do you have some points to throw in while I catch and read up?
Nah, I'm good. I'll be your wingman any day.
Human doesn't deserve to live. So,
Oh, come on.
So as they're talking about it, it's kind of interesting because I had talked about this a couple shows ago. I think we talked about this dating and hooking up and everything else. Here's some truth. Here's some hard truth that society doesn't want people to really acknowledge, right? Because society is retarded. Or I shouldn't say retarded. Somebody's going to get upset. It's stupid. Let me explain. Right? From a evolutionary standpoint, all relationships, and I'm speaking heterosexually specifically, is about the procreation of the species, right? Which means that it leads to sex. If we're not talking about that and we're talking about non-heterosexual, right? Then it still ends in sex because now it's about connection. Because sex is about the extension of the species and it's also about connection, right? So all relationships that have some sort of start with romantic spark all lead to sex, period. The problem is how society wants you to get there. And that's where all of these rules come into play. It's because if I know I want sex, you want sex, but as a female, you have to pretend that you don't want sex because if you do want sex and everybody knows that you want sex, and society is going to say that you're a whore and they're going to treat you poorly. So you have to pretend that you don't want sex. As a man, I want sex. But if I tell you I want sex and I am upfront about wanting sex, well, then obviously I'm going to be treated like I'm a player, I'm a pig, I'm just wanting a hookup, I'm a piece of shit. So I have to pretend that I don't want the sex that you know that I want, and I have to pretend that you don't want the sex that I know you want in order to make sure that you don't think a certain way. And then we have to both pretend that we don't want what we both want, and then we have to do it over a specific amount of time, right? And then once we've pretended long enough and that it's okay for us to no longer to pretend that we don't want the thing that we really do want, then it's okay to have the thing that we really do want, and then we have sex. It's fucking retarded, okay? That's why there are so many issues with people pretending to be something that they're not. That's why you see someone on Tinder, you link up with someone on Tinder, you see him in real life, and you're like, oh shit, you don't look like your Tinder profile. Or you can't have conversations because everybody's just so reliant on their looks, right? It becomes this mating ritual. That's what I'm saying. It's a problem. And dating apps accentuate that, right? It brings a light to the thing that we try and pretend shouldn't be a thing, but is a thing. And that's why it's so difficult. Let me see. I'm just seeing a lot of guys on Tinder just want sex and move on while others are looking for more than just sex. Yeah, so on the dating apps, that's true. And even in real life, that's the same too. And what I'm bringing up is that I don't understand why that's inherently a bad thing, right? So, and that has to do with the perspective on sex, relationships, connection, and all of these other things. So sometimes people look at it as, well, if I sleep with someone, then that says something about me, that says something about them, that says something about the relationship. And then based off of what our filters are and what we're told to believe about that act will then in turn have an impact on the way that we view said act. Here's an example. So if a man goes up to a woman and says, "Hey, I think you're very attractive. I would like to get together. I really would like to sleep with you." In America, this guy is a player, right? And you're supposed to run away. Now let's go ahead and change this. Let me go ahead and take you over to France. In France, right? If a man goes up to a woman, it's like, "Hey, I think you're very attractive. Let's go out. Let's have some dinner. I would love to sleep with you." Because of their perspective on sex, then that interaction that I just talked about is completely normal. And the woman, who is also allowed in French society to be open with her sexuality, can also say, "Well, maybe that might happen. Let's go and have a drink and everything else. I'm interested too." Or the woman can also come up to you and say, "Hey, I think you're attractive. I would love to sleep with you." You see what I'm saying? Perspective.
I want to point out from all that I took from Angel, because I did kind of zone out for a second there. I kind of blacked out. We just showed up here. I don't know how long it's been. But what you started off with is like, in the end, everybody wants sex. And it just depends on how you church it up. Just how you want to church it up. Because, like, I mean, that's true. In the end, either you want to have sex and you come out outright with that, or in the end, you want to, like, have a life with somebody, have kids. Well, how is he going to have kids other than adoption? You got to have sex, and that's what you want. You want some kids, you want a family, you want a life. So in the end, it all comes down to sex, is what you said at the beginning, and how we got to this point, and tangent, and yeah.
Well, it is, yes, like everything leads to sex, but if you think of that's what it all leads to. But the takeaway I want people to have is that everybody wants to feel desired. People want to feel respected, and people want to share something with someone that they don't want to share with others. Right? Those are the top three.
Okay.
So as long as you meet those three, time, location, circumstance, none of that shit matters. It's just those three things. So I try and I remove sex out of the equation, right? It's because I understand it. Everything leads to that anyway. If I find a woman attractive, that is obviously the ultimate goal. If a woman finds me attractive, we're going to end there anyway if it continues, right? That's an inevitability. But what isn't inevitable is feeling respected, feeling desired, and the desire to share moments with that person that I wouldn't want to share with anyone else. So if people start focusing on that, then it would make the whole dating game easier. But
I agree.
But that comes with age. That comes with age. You know, all the young people want to play the games because, you know what I'm saying, the Instagrams and looks good and where is this, and guys are putting on baby lotion and going to the club and their shirt opens up accidentally while they're dancing, and you know what I'm saying, whatever. But then as you get older and you realize it for what it is, then it's so easy. Dating is so simple. It's so simple. So simple.
Oops. All right.
I don't know if you guys want to take that from me. Some of you might look at me and be like, "Yo, this guy's kind of handsome though. He's charismatic. He has his beard is okay." But trust me, it's, if you follow the 3-step process to success, you will get there. #common fury. We should do this, Eric, like where you go out and then we're like, all right, every
progress
week
report.
we're gonna find out what happens. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give you some pointers. You're gonna go back out and you're gonna let me know what happens.
Idea.
What do you think, chats? I think this is what
the chat will love it, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do it for the chat. Do it for the bit.
It's simple. If you treat each other like people, then then you start seeing how stupid dating really is. You know, no guy wants to date someone who isn't themselves, because they get tired of that. And no woman wants to date a guy who's just playing the game so that he can better. It's so stupid. So that's why I do random stuff when I ask for a date. Like it's very rare that I go and have dinner with someone. Like the first thing I want to do is like have coffee or go somewhere where we can have a conversation. But having dinner is also good too, because then you get to watch them eat. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, the last time I went out with a meal with a woman, I forgot about this. It was out in LA. I met up with an old acquaintance from a few years back. And,
okay, player.
This is actually last year, now that I think about it. Yeah, but I went out there. We hung out a little bit. We went out to, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Oh, so romantic.
I mean, we were just getting something to eat. We were catching up. So I was eating, and I was trying to use the fork and the knife. Halfway through, I'm just like, screw it, and just started scarfing everything down. Because you can't eat chicken and waffles very well, very effectively. I couldn't with a fork and a knife. I was trying to be polite about it, but nah. In the end, I was just like, I just had enough of it. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to eat my food because I was hungry. And that brings up a point. Like you really, people try to put on something when they eat as well, but you can really see someone's like real side when they eat, when they become that animal. They got to give into the animal instincts to keep themselves alive, right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yo, listen here, young men in the chat, young men and women in the chat. You can only pretend to be something you're not for so long. You know what I mean? Take it from a guy who used to pretend that he was something else all the time, trying to make friends because he was a stinky nerd. After a while, people know you're full of shit and everything crumbles apart. Be yourself. Be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. And if the person you're interested in doesn't appreciate that, don't worry about it. There's going to be someone out there who will.
Same with friends, I've learned.
Yes.
Don't hang around with people who don't appreciate you. Don't waste your time.
No. That's why like my stream team is full of, I think they're very good people, right? Because we have this like common level of respect, like for real. Like, I mean, we talk shit or joke and have fun, and we're all very different. Some of our experiences are very different, but it's all built on a foundation of respect. So every person that I consider my friend that I interact with is because it starts off with respect for the other person. And then it just gets bananas from there, whatever.
I want to point out the way you said good people made me laugh. It reminded me of a Mega 64 video that you were featured in.
Oh, man.
When they cut up the audio and it's like, Mega 64, they're good people.
Yeah, I know, right? That was a good video. That's a good video.
It's a classic.
That was fun, man. It's good times in life. We should have to do something like that. Maybe I should make a video. What do you think, Blue Cheese? Should I do a video just about dating and perspective? Just be yourself, man.
It's always a major topic. And the past couple times we brought it up, we've got on like overtime with it just because of how deep we get into it. And we don't even scratch the surface on either of those times.
No,
it's too hard.
I tell people all the time, right? So there was a meme that I saw that you have differences in like how people are, based off of their experiences, right? So like you'll see somebody who might have come out of the military and they're all hardcore with a high and tight fade and they're just like uptight asshole. And then you have another military guy who comes out and they're all just like peace and love and very chill and whatnot. And then it's the experiences, right? Like the guy who's all chill and whatnot is the guy who went to combat and seen some shit. And he's like, listen, man, life isn't that serious. And the guy who's all uptight, never deployed or was never in a combat zone, was just a douche face. But anyway, I bring up that example because of life. This is my philosophy. It's that life is very simple. Life is simple. What makes it complicated are human emotions and the perspectives that we create and the perspectives that we push onto other people as a result of those emotions. So if you go into any type of interaction with people armed with that knowledge that they're emotional, their perspective is shaped off of their emotions, which is impacted by their past experiences, then it makes it a lot easier to get to know people and then create your own relationship. If you guys remember that, you'll have the confidence to talk to anyone in the world.
Crap, I just missed it. But Blue Cheese is talking about the dating series. I wanna make sure you guys get the dancing in there. I want that to be its own whole full episode.
About going dancing?
Yes, the two-step move and whatever else you want to throw into that. So that's got to be a whole episode.
Man, I got so much information. By the time that series was over, everybody would be a confident, mediocre-looking romantic lover. Just like myself. Easy peasy, guys. It's so easy. Life is so simple. But I don't know. Same. Trust me. I got stories for days.
All right. Well, I think this is a good point to cut it off. Maybe start getting ready for dinner. I got a Michael Jordan documentary to watch, part 3 and 4.
I hope it's dope.
It's been pretty interesting. I think it's too long though. It's supposed to be 10 episodes, so I got to do this for another 3 weeks after this. Last week I watched the first 2 episodes, and they're each an hour long, so that's 10 hours.
Don't look at the time, man. Just think about what you're getting out of it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know. It just feels like it's too stretched out. I think it could have been like good 3 to 5. What are you gonna do? And it's gonna end up like this dating series, though. Already, Blue Cheese has 5 parts.
So what she's putting in there is, in case you guys are thinking it's a joke, it's really not. She's my content manager for YouTube. So if Katie Cakes is saying that this is what's gonna happen, then I need to get it done.
Oh no.
So be prepared. Oh shit, this is good. I'm excited. And then of course, chat. We got to keep in touch with Eric because we're gonna make him go talk to people and like interact and stuff.
I don't want to talk to people. Damn it.
The adventures of YourFace. It's gonna be good. I'm excited for you, Eric. I'm excited.
My goal this week at Walmart, at the grocery store, if I see somebody who's wearing something I like, just give them a compliment, and then and just move on. All right, I'll do my best. I'll give someone a compliment.
Two things. There's 2 things you got to do, right? 1, if you see somebody wearing something that's nice, whether they're male or female, compliment them, right? 1, male or female. It's gonna feel weird. You got to do it. 2, when you're cashing out at the register and you're talking to someone, right?
I use the self-checkout.
Well, you're gonna have to go talk to somebody else, right?
It's faster.
You're gonna have to.
It's faster.
This is for growth. This is for growth, Eric. This is for growth. So when you go to checkout, right? If you have a food, right, whatever you have, right, and you're gonna give it to them to pay, you're gonna ask this question. Okay, here's an example, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm paying for a chocolate. I give them the chocolate. I would say, hey, have you eaten that chocolate? Is it any good? It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter.
I would hate somebody to ask me that question.
Right? And if they look at you, just run with it. Be like, is that chocolate any good? And they're gonna look at you weird and be like, I'm just asking because I haven't had it yet, and I'm just curious. Like, should I even be spending my money on it? Just run with it. And then they're gonna answer. Whatever. Ask a question about something that you're buying. Totally irrelevant, just to get the practice of asking a stranger some sort of question that seems inappropriate for the time.
Gotta call
Trust me.
The quarantine retraining, so I can be prepared when we open back up and be a normal human being again. Right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We are going to have to. We're going to talk about this next Sunday.
Oh, no.
Let's go, Eric.
I hate this so much. But anyway, I guess that's what I'm doing this week. Other than playing Spider-Man, hopefully I'll finish that. I need to play Journey still. I will do that.
Yeah.
Real quick, we got a question on my Twitch side. Opinions on IKEA. Not really that big of a fan. I mean, I can see the benefit of it, but it's whatevs. I don't really care for it. I don't feel like being hurdled, or not hurdled. I didn't feel like being treated like cattle when I'm in a store. But hey, they make some decent products, I guess. Angel, real quick.
I personally like IKEA because I'm a very visual person. So, like, if somebody is like, "Hey, design a room," I'm like, "Bitch, I don't know how to design a room." But when I go to the IKEA, they have stuff there that I can see, so I can see the colors, and they put together some rooms, and it'll give me ideas, and then I can like touch different things. So I like IKEA because it gives me the visuals I need to make decisions on things. So I like IKEA, and they have the restaurant there too. So it's like I go there, I can be relaxed, I can get examples, and then since no one is there trying to pressure me to buy stuff, I can just figure some things out. And then you can ask questions to strangers too, especially the attractive female that's there by themselves. Ask them on their inputs, and then maybe have lunch at the restaurant that's in there, Eric.
I don't think that happens.
This example I'm telling you is something that I did. That's why I'm bringing it.
This doesn't happen for me, okay? Having lunch in the restaurant, in the building.
Eric, you just have to do it, bro. Trust me. Trust me.
I don't want.
Anyways.
All right. Anyway,
yeah. I guess I like IKEA.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up, Spider-Man, Journey, and whatever else, maybe some Valorant again until I get rid of it. We'll see. As long as I have people to play with, I'll probably play. Right. Angel, what do you got going on this week?
I'm going to be doing some more Spider-Man. I'm hoping to get the Platinum Trophy done this week. Tuesday, I'll be doing the Destiny reset. And then after that, I believe, depending on how quickly I get done Spider-Man, I think I'm going to invest in the DLC stuff. So I'm going to be playing the DLC for Spider-Man. So I think that's what it's going to be. All week is going to be Spider-Man and Destiny reset on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I got to do the DLC too. Crap. You got it extra, right? Like you bought the DLC extra, or did you get the Game of the Year edition?
No. I'm actually going to buy the Game of the Year edition now because I've been playing it because I had the PS Now subscription.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. So I was playing it off of that, but my subscription's about to run out in the next couple of days.
Gotcha.
So we get the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, I bought that. That's like what I bought when I got the PlayStation first. When I first got it, it was like $15 when I got it. It was like a Black Friday sale. So good deal.
It's worth
obviously
it.
Enjoying it now.
It's worth it. It's worth it. If you talk about in times of return on investment, the time that you spend for that $20 and the gameplay that you get, absolutely worth it. Absolutely.
Dang it. Well, we got a whole conversation boiling up here, but we're going to have to hold it off for next week because I was going to talk about how you already been playing it. Now you're going to spend $20 and you still find, and I'm guessing you still find it worth it, but
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Obviously, the show was too big for one show, and now we have a series of
Eric,
crap.
we are too damn cool, bro. We're too cool. We have too many experiences, Eric.
I guess that is true. I need more experiences. I need this quarantine to be over. But
bro, you got experiences that you got to do already. You got to compliment somebody, and you got to ask a question.
Anyway, that's going to be it for us. This was Calm and Fury. We definitely brought the calm and the fury. I got to get rid of that before I take it to that. As you see below, I am YourFace. That is Trindominus. Actually, I didn't fix my graphic. I accidentally changed my Twitter handle to YourFace NA. But follow us on all platforms. And we'll see you next time, next Sunday. You guys have a good one. And go talk to somebody. Later. Oh my God.
We go together like peanut butter and chocolate.
I mean, you're not wrong.